What's that say right there? That says intentionally shut off power. I get it. The storms were part of it and they contributed, but ultimately they made the choice to shut off the power.
240,000 people lost power in Columbus after a thunderstorm, which was just in time for near record high temperatures. And as of me taping this, Central Ohio is in the midst of a heat advisory. American Electric Power Ohio, also known as AEP, serves as the dominant provider for electricity in the area with nearly 1.5 million customers. It's Ohio's largest utility and has its headquarters here in Central Ohio. But AEP also reports to a regulator above it. So while AEP is currently repairing damage to the transmission lines that bring energy to the Columbus area, they became the face of the Columbus area power outages during a press conference when they tried to explain why they intentionally cut power to customers. But it also wasn't AEP's decision to make. We'll get into this in a minute. First, I want to talk about which customers were negatively impacted by this decision. Now, for those of you who aren't from or familiar with Columbus, like a lot of other cities around the country, it is surrounded by an interstate, in our case, 270, circling the inner city. And along this outer belt are the suburbs, and you can see the white flight from here. There are little to no power outages there, well, here. In other words, those without power live in the city center and are more likely to be poor and or black. And that's not me generalizing. I know from experience, and it's backed by racist Columbus history. Here's the proof. Shout out to Columbus Alleyways who put this together. Essentially, when you compare this map from AEP to this all metro high poverty neighborhoods map, it gets real. And is any of this a coincidence when you compare it to redlining? Oh, and not only were customers and communities chosen to be without power, AEP just cut it, without warning. And we have the technology to effectively communicate with a lot of people at once. I'm old enough to remember back in May of 2020 when BLM protests reached Columbus and the Columbus police, using this military-grade vehicle, told us that we would be removed or arrested if we did not leave the area, which was a violation of Columbus City Code or Ohio Revised Code. This is my video. I was there. But we also got this here message, all of us, on our phones when a citywide curfew was issued. So there are ways of letting us know of an urgent or emergency situation. Actually, rewind to August of 2020, the city of Columbus issued a boil alert advisory because of a power outage at a local water plant. We, each of us, found out through the news, newspapers, and social media. Not a mass text like we got when we were told we needed to stay home. Not a good look, Columbus and AEP Ohio. Now, I don't know about electricity, power, and power grids, but I know Columbus, and I know this looks like racism and classism. As I alluded to earlier, according to the Columbus Dispatch, PJM Interconnection oversees the movement of electricity for 13 states and Washington, D.C. This includes Ohio plus American Electric Power, and it monitors the regional power grid conditions while giving orders to electric companies within its borders. So PJM issued a load shed, which is commonly known as a rolling blackout or brownout. Load shedding is when a local utility provider has to reduce or stop distributing electricity to an area altogether to reduce the strain on the overall power grid. Whatever the case, some things are going to have to change. We have the technology. For Rebel HQ, I'm Jeff Wiggins. My architect knows Japanese. For more from the Young Turks, stay right here. If you want to see content from yours truly, click on the hashtag below. I can also be found on all socials at He Gonna Be Alright. Thanks for watching.